Hey everyone, welcome back to the Retro Reef, and one of my favorite games has been trending on Twitter for the past 48 hours, and not for the best. So I want to sit here and talk about the hashtag #SaveFallGuys and my current thoughts on the state of the game and Fall Guys moving forward. So hashtag #SaveFallGuys has been trending for about 48 hours on my timeline at least, and in case you aren't aware of what this movement is, people are really upset with the current state of the game when it comes to the matchmaking. A lot of people think it's too competitive, and then there's also those few people who are really good at Fall Guys who think it's just a little too easy or competitive constantly. So that's kind of what's going on with Fall Guys, and my thoughts, I definitely agree with the sentiment where I've actually played with some new people recently, and when I play with them, it's definitely a lot easier for me to play through it as a more experienced player. By no means am I great at the game, so that's not a humble brag or anything. It's just with experience and going with someone new, you can definitely tell the skill level. You're paired with more new people coming into the game. And that's not really what got me into Fall Guys, was really that competitive nature. Yes, there is competitiveness to it, especially once you get in the final rounds. It's a lot of fun, but at the same time, when I play Fall Guys, I'm there to laugh, to have fun with friends, or maybe just to relieve some stress and kind of have that wacky race round that just makes you laugh when you miss jumping after a platform. But currently, right now, it's just every time I play, it's been getting more and more difficult for me personally to advance, where at least more than a few months ago, maybe, I would hop into a game and I could get to a final round pretty easily, or I would have fun with friends and laugh, and now I just feel like I'm constantly just trying to get first place every single time. And it definitely is attributed to the matchmaking. I would definitely agree with that. And I think a lot of the community, what I've been seeing online, is a lot of people think that adding a ranked mode would solve this. And I definitely agree with the sentiment, and I think that would be beneficial for the game, but that worries me, and I don't think it would be too easy for the developers to do. And I know the developers put a lot of time and effort into Fall Guys, and I think they've done a great job overall, but they're still struggling to get this game to run properly on the Switch. I mean, it's hard, and part of that has to do with the Switch hardware. I will definitely give the developers that and not put it all on them, but it's still difficult. Update after update, you see it kind of fluctuate up and down with the frame rates, some of the lagginess that disconnects, and just something I've been seeing with that. So I think it's just a big undertaking for the developers to add in a ranked mode. I could be completely wrong, I'm not a developer myself, but it's hard in my mind to see a world where they can quickly put out a ranked mode and have it run so fluid. I just think Fall Guys itself as a game, it's not like a shooter. There aren't too many stats involved with it. There definitely are stats, but not as many as other competitive games. So I see a little bit of challenge there. But at the end of the day, I think it would solve a bulk of the issues, and I would absolutely love that. But we'll see if they can ever add something like that. I do think it would resolve it, but I don't know if it would completely resolve it or fix all the issues we're seeing. And one of those other issues we are seeing is just the map rotation. I notice, especially when a new season comes out, and I understand that they push a lot of the new maps or the updated maps that are around that theme. So right now, the space theme, they add a lot of the zero gravity to previous courses. So those were pushed, as well as any new maps and new games. And I'm okay with that. Doesn't bother me at all, but it definitely gets stale pretty quickly. So I definitely think next go around, maybe they could change that rotation and expand it quicker. A little quicker, so we don't get stale those new maps so quickly. But I do like the idea of that, of kind of pushing those, or maybe even having a separate mode where it's just purely just the space maps. Maybe that's a solution to that problem. But the map rotation itself, I feel like a week at a time, at least me personally, I've noticed whenever the weeks change, like the weekly events, the map rotations shift a little bit. And I would say still the core modes are there. Like, I played the same fan game, running around on the fans. I don't remember all the map names. So I can't even count since it came out. There's so many maps. This game's been out long enough where they should at least have a mode that encompasses all the maps. I don't see how that is such an issue. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of Splatoon, and this is, I do love the Splatoon series, but I don't like the map rotation, and that's just a personal preference of mine. I would like to go in, because they grow stale with me over, you know, if you're playing for a set amount of hours, and let's say you can't play for another couple days, and then you hop on, and you're stuck with one of those maps again, it kind of gets stale pretty quickly, especially if there's not enough maps in that rotation. I feel like Fall Guys definitely falls into this, which could be resolved if they just had a mode where they just had all the maps in there. I don't see what the issue would be doing that. And I don't know, obviously, all the details behind the game, the statistics, how many people are playing, how easily or difficult that is, but I definitely think something, if they even had a mode like that when you go into your selection where you can pick something where it's a more expanded, you know, map rotation, I think would definitely help solve that issue. But that's another issue I definitely see with the game that I definitely agree with. And then there are definitely other issues that don't have to do with the gameplay itself. What I love about Fall Guys is I can just pick it up, play, laugh, pick up some achievements, pick up some fun skins that are hilarious in some of the combinations here. My favorite one recently that I stole from someone online was a Viking top and the hot dog bottom. It just makes me laugh. And there's some really cool skins. Like right now in rotation, they have the robot dinosaurs and they're the space dinosaurs, and those are hilarious. So I think unlocking some of those over time during the battle pass is great. And the battle pass itself, I think Fall Guys does a really good job in general, where you can get the next season battle pass if you don't spend your show box. And I love that, because I've been able to just get the battle pass once, which I actually got as an older player moving over during this new transition to the console and all that, when they were doing the crossplay. So I was able to get that for free, and then I was also able to just buy the next season pass based off of the show box I've earned during the battle pass. So it's been great to have that feature. And I think my biggest issue is I hit 100 pretty quickly, and there was nothing to do after. I was just playing games. I wasn't gaining XP. It was just useless. I would sometimes, if I had a bad round, I would get to the end screen. It was just nothing. I'm like, well, I feel like I'm doing nothing. And literally was. So I think they fixed that by adding another 100 levels to level 200. I definitely think they could put a little more in it, but I do like the idea of just that you could do that. I like having the first 100 and then the 200 just a bonus. You know, it makes you feel like you're advancing. You're getting those crowns that are so difficult to get sometimes. So I do really enjoy that, and I think that they fixed that there, and I love the battle pass. But this kind of leads into my next issue is kudos. Previously, before Season 1 of this new revamp of, I would say, Fall Guys, kudos, you could buy a lot of skins with kudos. You could save up your kudos. There was a decent amount you could do with the kudos. Now, there's just that daily kudos, which never has anything cool in it. It has like a belt, a shoes, or a hat that don't match anything. There's individuals. And then they'll have a few other things. And this is the weekly, where you get the weekly kudos only. And then they'll have like the sprites, they'll have the word, like there's just nothing good in there, ever. And so I never want to spend my kudos on there. Occasionally you'll find a color of, like, that you can change the color of your bean to, that you don't have that you'll get, which is great, or a face, which is rare, but I'm lacking the face, so I wish there were more face colors that I could get with my kudos. But then you get down to the daily, and I really wish these were kudos as well, but both almost always throw a cool skin in there that's always showbox. And they're always showing, no matter where it is, the kudos are always discounted. But you can never buy it anywhere full price. So I just don't understand. I mean, I do understand they're pushing the showbox so much, but I think it takes away from the store itself. And I do think there are better ways to do it. Like, it's funny, my brother and I are actually talking. He's very big into Fall Guys, more than me, and he was saying, and I'm like, this is genius, sometimes every now and then a skin will pop up, and let's say you have the top half or the bottom half of it, and you really want to complete it, but to do it, it's like $6, $5 to $6. Like, why would I put $5 to $6 to complete a skin when, if I didn't have it, I could spend $8 and get the whole thing? I mean, that's a lot of money for a skin in general, but I just don't understand why they don't have like a complete skin for like $1.99 or a complete skin for 99 cents. However they want to do it. Maybe they could have 2 tiers of it if it's a, know, they could categorize the skins. I don't know how they do it. But if they were to do that, I think that's more enticing for people to be like, you know, it's only $1. And the next thing you know, you complete 6 or 7 skins, and they're $6 or $7, or $15 to $20, depending how you price that quick little just complete skin for. I just don't understand how they're doing that, but kudos to me are just absolutely useless. And while the Battle Pass itself has great skins, I will definitely give it that. If you have the Battle Pass is a great value for great skins, and if you don't spend your show bucks, you can just get the next Battle Pass for free. I absolutely do love that. And I do love how they have the weekly events occasionally where you can go and unlock some really cool skins. If you just complete those challenges, I do love those as well. I do think there's a lot going for it, but I do think if they clean up those small things, like the store gets cleaned up, the matchmaking gets cleaned up, and let's say they could give us more maps to play all the time, I think Fall Guys is just going to trend, you know, higher and higher and higher, and people are going to play it more and more and more. But I'm afraid if they continue this competitive nature, less people are going to want to play it because they're constantly losing or struggling, you know, to win occasionally, or just not having as much fun. People aren't going to want to play it as much, and I think the store is a little too. I just think it could be done better. I think a lot of these companies in general, and we'll have a separate video discussion, are a little too greedy at times where I think if they pulled back a little bit, they would still get the whales, but get way more people buying skins in general, which would probably broaden their revenue versus just banking on the whales every single time. So I just wanted to, you know, take some time to talk to you about my opinion right now on where Fall Guys is, and hashtag Save Fall Guys. I'm definitely on the Save Fall Guys trend. I'm definitely going to keep playing this game. It's one of my favorite games, and you know, I really hope that they can do something special with the next season. I think they've already taken a big leap from last season to this season. I hope they can continue that to season 3. So here's the hoping they can do that, and thank you so much for listening. If you like videos like this, please smash that like button, please subscribe, and thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.